Hey everybody, welcome to Attempts at Governance. We're now on episode 248. We're very happy to have you here for this jam-packed show. And take a look at what's going on with Polkadot governance this week. We're going to start with the state of the Treasury, which is looking pretty good this week. When it comes to the DOT token, we are up 90,000 of those, which is worth $327,000 at today's market value. That brings the DOT stack to 23.84 million. USDT, though, we're down 690,000 to 2.01 million, and USDC we're down 750,000 to 4.11 million USDC. That is the state of the Treasury, and sliding in at the last minute is Funky. Woo! For the state of the funk.
Thanks so much, Jay. The state of the funk is admittedly delayed because I feel I'm behind on everything. I mean, I barely made it to the show today. I am behind on all my votes. Please, Coos DAO, please, Chaos DAO. I will get to it. Lots going on right now, but I'm also equally starstruck because Bill LeBoom's here, right? I mean, this is, for those who don't know my story, this is the OG who captivated my interest and brought me into the ecosystem. And I got to give him a shout out because I don't think enough people have read it. It's his pinned post. If you've never read Strength in Numbers, check it out. It's it's aged a little bit, right? Like some of the concepts in there, but definitely. When's the sequel, Bill? That's what I want to know. When's the sequel?
Yeah, so it's either write a sequel or do all of my Polkadot stuff, and I got to go with the Polkadot stuff. But
just a reminder to our guests that paid advertisements are not allowed on AAG. Of course, it is a book worth reading, but we should definitely keep these deals off the show. Thank you, Funky, very much. And Bill, it's very nice to have you here. We're going to get to your newest initiative very soon. But first, we have to look at referenda gone by with Limo.
I don't think I've ever seen Funky with headphones on this show.
Yeah, rocking out.
A world first. Oh my god.
I have a new setup, so I got a Rode Procaster 2 and everything. I'll try not to do sound effects during the show.
Whoa.
Now you have to. Now you
you
said that you have to.
Yeah, let's get them going. Wait, we need a sound for when the timer goes, right?
Oh, I got that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we've got 6 refs gone by this week. The first one is by Autonomous Projects. It's a Wish for Change ref 1608. This was approved, and this is the Polkadot Community Foundation Polkadot Payment Card, a Polkadot branded card for the ecosystem, and we'll see how that goes. I think it's going to be in the Polkadot app.
Nice.
Then we've got OTAR on the Treasurer Track ref 1588. This was approved, and this is Curator Reinstatement and Bounty Housekeeping. If you remember, about a month ago, there was a load of bounties that got their curators removed because it's permissionless, and this is fixing that. Then we've got Mario on the Big Spender Track ref 1593. This was rejected, and this was for 660,000 USDC for Wagoi, the data space on Polkadot for car data in the European Union. Then we've got Open Square on the Medium Spender Track ref 1612. This was approved, and it's for 444,000 USDC for Subsquare feature development and maintenance. I do like Subsquare, so I'm glad they got more money to make it better. Then we've got Moobert on the Medium Spender Track ref 1592. This was rejected, and it was for 81,000 USDC for the Pudgy Penguins and Moobert Events Tour powered by Polkadot. And finally, we've got Nachito on the Small Tibber Track ref 1659. This was approved, and it was for 250 USDT tip for Gabo for his contributions at Buenos Aires Tech Week. And that's all the refs gone by this week.
Thank you very much, Limo. Now, before we get to some presentations for this week, we have an introduction and an update from Caroline York. So Caroline's working with Serotonin, which is a marketing agency that is being funded under the marketing bounty. So a little introduction to what's happening there. Caroline, welcome to the show. We have 8-minute slots here, so Funky's going to put 8 minutes on the clock, and the floor is yours to tell us anything you want.
Perfect. Thanks so much. And very glad to be here to explain ourselves, kind of introduce ourselves to the Polkadot ecosystem. So we're Serotonin. We're a Web3 marketing agency. We've been around the markets for 5 years now. It's founded by Amanda Cassette, originally from the Ethereum team and Consensus. So our team currently, you're being serviced by almost 150 of our staff members, and we're super excited to actually get Polkadot's branding back into the spotlight in APAC. So our mandate is to revitalize Polkadot's brand perception, increase our mind share, specifically in 5 different regions. So that would be Hong Kong, Singapore, China, Indonesia, and Malaysia. We are upcoming into our 3rd month. So currently we are funded for 3 months, and we are hoping to extend this funding into an upcoming 6 months as well. Reason being, we have already started some of the work with the Polkadot ecosystem. And so just to update and show you guys what's been going on, perhaps, do you guys prefer presentations? I can just walk it through otherwise.
Hey, whatever you wish.
So I wasn't given much of a briefing, but
I see.
yeah, so we
Okay.
just flow with it.
Let's go.
Yeah, so just bear with me with that. So as a quick little briefing, we have actually, oh, nice, Fernando, wonderful. Yes, you guys do get benefits. Apologies for the sound, by the way. So you guys do get benefits working with Serotonin. We are actually helping to boost all partner ecosystems within the APAC region. We've been actually in talks with all the ecosystem partners that's been shortlisted by the Marketing Bounty. So this includes a whole list from Bifrost, Hydration, Peak, Mandala, Energy, Web, alongside many, many others. We are also trying to amplify by setting up a new X account. So if you guys have time, please follow the Polkadot _ APAC account. We're also actually asking the Marketing Bounty to give us access to some new tabs on the Telegram channel so that we can load on some localized moderators to really tap into these markets and produce content that is localized. Yes, I will send across actually a form. I know there's so many forms going on, but it seems like it's one of the most efficient ways to come through and get all the detailed updates. So if you guys have any news releases, product features, things that you want the entire marketing to know, just shoot us a message on the form and we'll follow up via Telegram as well. In terms of what we've been doing in the past couple of weeks, we've completed a Polkadot ecosystem audit, and there is a lot to be audited, including websites, including all the different fragmented channels that we have currently, and how we can try to utilize all this different channels and see if we can have a very unified message coming through. This is interesting because I think one of the biggest challenges of Polkadot is how fragmented that messaging can be because there's so many different ecosystem players. There are pros and cons, but for brand building purposes and marketing purposes, we would love to have just one unified front to make sure people actually know what Polkadot's about. We're also gearing up for the Polkadot Hub launch, so very exciting things. We're also launching a very, very fun interactive experiential side event for Token 2049, trying to get you guys the best ROI and not just blindly sponsoring events for the sake of it. So please keep in mind that this will be coming through on the events bounty very, very soon. So happy for you guys to take a look. Indeed. I don't know how much time I still have left on the clock, but we're also building a developer portal to kind of, all right, great, to aggregate all the different learning portals you guys have and learning material so that as a new developer, you can come in and everything is centralized and you can pick and choose your lane to develop. I think that's going to be super, super useful for any new developers looking at the Polkadot ecosystem. And part and parcel is because we've been doing a lot of that backend work and we realized how complicated it can get. So streamlining is what we're trying to do. Yeah, so I will be also putting across the entire report into the Polkadot referendum. So you guys will be able to see what we've been up to for the past 3 months. That was a high level overview. But we've also got detailed PR strategies. We're scoped for ads as well. So growth strategies as well as social content creation. So I'm hoping that gets some of the questions out of the way. Happy to see if anyone else wants to ask me questions who are here. But we're super excited to build up Polkadot in APAC.
That was a pro overview. Thank you very much, Carolyn. Does anybody have any questions? 3 minutes remaining. So you mentioned there that you're going to go through the events bounty a little bit, but you also mentioned a ref there. Are you going to go to the open treasury as well?
So this is actually we're going to have to navigate all these ecosystem based on what the marketing bounty tells us to go through. So we're also learning to jump through some of these hoops, hoping that this can be streamlined in some way and form. But yes, right now it's events bounty and another submission for the marketing bounty, because we're hoping to actually get some sponsored media content for you guys and get some KOLs talking about Polkadot.
Wow. When you have that report ready, if you have time, we'd love to have you back on the show to give a more detailed overview of that. Sounds really good. Anybody else have
Fantastic.
anybody else have any questions? Yeah, go ahead.
I had one question. I'm co-founder of Janton, one of the latest parachains, and we are based out of Switzerland, working with asset managers to use this infrastructure to represent real assets as a token. We are scheduling to launch a gold token on the 15th of August, and I believe there could be an opportunity there to bring something of high quality Swiss gold stored that people can easily understand. And yeah, I would appreciate any inputs or any synergies that you envision. If you need any introductions with the issuer, these are, senior folks. I think this could also add value or weight, maybe attract institutional players into the ecosystem as well.
Fantastic. Actually, I think what would be great is that we have a lot of institutional speakers opportunities coming up in APAC, especially in Singapore and Hong Kong. So we could actually definitely talk further and see if we can ship you guys across and talk more RWA.
Wow, this is good. Okay, anybody else? Caroline, lovely to have you on the show. Thank you for coming here and giving us this overview. Sounds very hopeful, and well done. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
All right, with that behind us, we're going to move on now to some of the open discussions for refs. Starting with 1660, we've got Bill Laboon on the show. Thank you very much for being here, Bill, and Kram as well, I believe. You guys are working together on this?
Yeah, so actually, mostly working. Karam has been helpful, and I've bounced things off him. But mostly with Albert. So you may know him as I Love Crypto on
yes,
Twitter, and who's now on the Polkadot support team here at Web3 Foundation.
So a wish for change to request from the Web3 Foundation that you begin a Polkadot Agents program. So far, 2.76 million on the I side, and not much to speak of on the nay side. What's the plan here?
So the basic idea is what we have seen is that there are, as Caroline just mentioned, like we're a pretty fragmented ecosystem. There are a lot of different possibilities for people to do things. There's lots of different bounties out there. There's lots of different programs out there. There's a lot of people who don't know where to go, and a lot of people who fall through the cracks. So that they want to do something that's very small and perhaps, or it's something like very last minute, and so it's not something that is well suited to the to different bounties, right? With bounties, with most of the decentralized stuff we do, it takes some time to organize. Almost everything is a multi-sig, and one person's on vacation, etc. So what we thought we would do is basically try to, we were like be the border in between those cracks. So when people fall through them, there would be something that we can do on a very short-term basis for people that are already approved. They would have to be a member of this, get KYC'd and everything. But if they wanted to do small things, go to an event, do a workshop, and they need relatively small amounts of funding. The idea was to provide a way for Web3 Foundation to do this, with Web3 Foundation funds.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is the basic outline of it, is basically fill in all of these cracks for lots of small things. So if you're a member of this program, it's not paid, it's not meant to be any sort of full-time or even part-time thing, or it may be part-time if you're interested in really working on it, but it's meant to sort of augment all of these other programs. There's lots, we get lots of responses like, hey, I wasn't sure whether to go to this bounty, or this bounty said it was too short. Bounties do great things. I'm not trying to say anything bad about them. They have to, but they have certain rules. Web3 Foundation is a bit more centralized, and we can do things much more quickly. So the idea is, to help fill in all of these cracks for people that need, again, relatively small reimbursements.
That's fantastic. Great. So any opening questions about this or anything more to say?
Can I say that? Yes, one more thing.
Please.
Is the reason, Web3 Foundation, obviously we could have just, all right, let's throw this together and start doing it. We are not trying to step on people's toes. I want to make sure that's very clear. What we saw was that there are lots of things out there, but there's lots of little tiny gaps, and we want to fill in those gaps. So I want to make sure that anyone who is saying oh, what's the difference between this and this bounty, or this project or this team, our goal was not to take over what anyone else is doing. What we want to do is make sure that anyone who wants to contribute to Polkadot, they can do it.
Just a cursory look at, I can't imagine any other programs as steps on. This looks kind of unique, actually. A unique opportunity for a certain type of agent.
So like I said, yeah, we wanted to make sure, right? There are so many projects out there, and I've interacted with a lot of people. I know about a lot of projects out there. I don't know about all of them, sadly. But I wanted to make sure that the community wants this, right? And that this is, I thought, the way to make sure that everybody in the community knew about it, and we can sort of get their stamp of approval on what the project is, and that it is something they want Web3 Foundation to be doing. Because Web3 Foundation, we are not here to be the royalty of Polkadot. We're here to do what will help Polkadot, and to me, what will help Polkadot, the people that own DOT know that the best.
I think the ways that you've been stepping up lately, Bill, from the Web3 Foundation seat, with Kusama and now with this, I think it's very bullish and very productive for the ecosystem. It's really nice, actually.
Yeah, thank you. I think one thing we're really trying to do at Web3 Foundation is be more responsive to what people want, and just engage, right? As I think Limo, I don't know if you were the originator of this quote, but you can just do stuff. Well, we want to just do more stuff.
Yeah, I love it. That's cool. Okay, anybody has any questions about this? This is 1660, 25 and a half days out from confirmation period at the moment. I guess it's short and sweet. Thanks, Bill, for doing this initiative, and looking forward to diving deeper on this and your other projects soon.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks a lot for having me on. All
right, good stuff. Moving on. Yes, we've been touching on this recently, but I think finally we can dive a little bit deeper into Ref 1650, the BD Hub, enabling business development across Polkadot. 3 quarterly payments of 85,050 USDC. We have Jashar and Natalie back on the show. Hey guys, what's going on?
Yes, thank you for having us.
Hello.
Screen.
Of course. The timers begin.
All right. Thanks, everyone. It's good to be back on AAG. Today, we want to talk about Ref 1650. And in order to get everyone on the same page, we want to start with a small recap of Ref 1090, which is actually a project we launched and executed late last year. And the reason we did so is we ran a very detailed and a lengthy market research to understand the state of business development at Polkadot. And the results were, for a lack of a better word, quite concerning. It became very evident that across BD teams, there was very little alignment on strategy, not so much coordination, not really any tools and resources were shared, and also not any KPIs that teams were looking at together. This, of course, led to a few problems, starting with inefficiencies, but also a very high level of dissatisfaction amongst agents. The NPS score that we measured was only 2.8 out of 10, which I believe is the lowest I've ever seen in any market research. Now, the attempt to fix this was by conducting a structured segmentation, targeting, and positioning exercise that we did in our project. We started with looking at the entire market and segmented it into 83 different industry verticals. We then applied a proprietary Polkadot market fit score, figuring out which of these 83 industry verticals have the highest long-term potential for success for the ecosystem. And then we picked the top 5 industry verticals, and for those, we developed very detailed positioning strategies. Now, when all the work was done, we were sitting on tons of documents with lots of valuable insights and information. The only problem is we realized There was not really any place for us to plug in this information to make them easily accessible for BD teams. So at the very last minute, we decided to add a small additional deliverable to our project scope, which was the design, the development, and the launch of the Polkadot Sales Hub, which went live in April of this year. We then conducted lots of onboarding sessions with BD teams across the ecosystem. And first things first, I want to say that the feedback has been super positive. There's been a lot of appreciation and gratitude. And ultimately, I think at the end of every project, that's exactly what you want to hear, that the work that you've been doing is actually used and meaningful. Having said that, we also received tons of feature requests from teams all around the world asking us, can we also have a competitor research? Can we also plug in a CRM tool? Can we have a BD help desk? Can we have a pitch deck for the AI vertical? Can we have a go-to-market strategy for the Latin American market? And so on and so forth. So one thing we realized is that the work that we had done to this point was good, and it was also needed, but it was just a starting point. Because what we acknowledge now is that one of the things Polkadot really needs more than many other things at this point is a home for BD, a place that brings together both infrastructure on the one side and content on the other side. Now, a lot of people oftentimes argue that we don't need infrastructure. All we need to do is sell more deals, close more deals. But guess what? That's exactly why we need infrastructure for. Imagine cars without highways or highways without cars. One without the other is meaningless. And our goal with this Rev 1650 is to bring these things together, build a 2.0 version of this hub, and really make it a gold standard for BD in all of Web3. We have all the capabilities, all the knowledge, all the expertise, the motivation, and everything else that is needed to make this happen. And we really hope that we can convince the ecosystem and the community to support this, because we really want to make it a success. I will now hand over to Natalie to also talk a little bit about what's actually in there and what to expect throughout the project.
Cool. Thanks, Yashar. So based on the input we received from teams, we compiled this long list of components and prioritized them based on urgency and importance. And we came up with work streams. I won't go through all of them. You can see them in details, including each of their KPIs and also a description in a roadmap that we'll tackle in this project. But imagine this BD Hub 2.0. There are some infra improvements. As Yashar said, this was kind of an add-on that we added to our last project. So we didn't look at anything UX-wise. It's still very text-heavy. There are many kind of parts in the navbar that are missing. And of course, not only those parts, but the content. Then for the content and tooling, imagine having this more complete navbar with everything important. You see Polkadot, where it says Polkadot, where product profiles could sit. Are we selling chains? Are we selling smart contracts? Are we going to include Jam already? What is Substrate? What is the Polkadot SDK? So what are we selling? Then in the go-to-market part, what are our key industry verticals? What's our channel mix? What's the messaging? All of this, and of course also a very hands-on sales toolkit where we can use everything we've learned in our previous project and create material based on this. This also includes case studies, but also an enterprise landing page for Polkadot.com where we really want to use and test the messaging that we developed in our previous project. If we jump to the next slide, that's our last one. One thing we also wanted to get across is how our work ties into the entire ecosystem. And the entire point of this proposal is to bring our groundwork and the research to life, to make things tangible. Particularly for the enablement work that we do, our work can't live in a vacuum. And collaboration is at the core of what we do anyway. So for all of the deliverables in this project, we will work really closely with BD teams to kind of go full circle and really use the material to get more leads, win and improve BD KPIs. I won't go into all three examples, but maybe the first two are interesting. First, we were asked to collaborate with BD teams on the Web Summit, where we would, and this is also part of the proposal, to really go, we would create the campaign, the messaging, and kind of go full circle. Lastly, we are excited, as what Bill just said, about the Web3 Foundation's Agents program. It's a perfect complement to our work. They organize the people, we provide the tools, the content, and I think together they show that they're kind of two sides of the same coin. So these are the things we wanted to share, get across, but we would also love for questions, to answer questions. Happy to hear. Thanks.
Well, we have only 15 seconds left, but it was a very good introductory presentation here. Does anybody have a 3-second question? I know Funky wants to push his new button. Let's hear what it sounds like.
Did it not come through?
Nope.
Oh my God, I gotta figure out what's
Great, we've got time.
Maybe on Google Meet your input needs to be the road or something like that. I'm not sure. Okay, we're gonna figure it out, guys. Thanks very much for the presentation. We'll see you next week, maybe if you could come back and maybe we could do some more questions and answers.
Yes, would love to. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Don't worry, we're gonna get it, Funks. All right, let's move on now. We have Josiah on the show because he's represented Polkadot on the Discovery Channel previously. They sold a beautiful opal pendant, and they want to do it again for $250,000 USDT. Polkadot and Discovery Channel, a tokenization story. Josiah? Hey, there you are, buddy. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, guys. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we do. We're going to set the timer and, yep, 8 minutes.
Sweet.
Otherwise, big sounds coming in.
Yeah, my screen. Cool. Can you guys see that?
Yeah. There's a pop-up over top of it. This window is
Is
where
it?
your
Okay.
audience sees.
Hold on a second. Share my screen anyway.
Woo. Just say, yeah.
Can you
there we
see
go.
it now?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, cool. All right. Awesome, guys. Thanks very much, guys. For those that don't know, my name is Josiah Kotzer. I'm a third-generation Opal Minder, senior ambassador, and community member for almost 5 years now, since TGE. And I'm a Polkadot founder and Web3 builder. Yeah, so here I'm presenting the tokenization story. I've been previously on Discovery Channel on a series called Outback Opal Hunters. Outback Opal Hunters is a very popular TV series, factual TV series. I've got a small trailer, which I'll put on shortly. Hopefully the sound works. Can you hear that?
Sound doesn't work, but the imagery is beautiful.
Okay.
It actually is an interesting show. I watched the other season, or at least the parts you were in. Cool.
Cool. So yeah, Outback Opal Hunters is screened across most cable TV stations across 100 countries, the potential reach of 400 million households. That is the amount of households that have Discovery Channel, and 200 million Amazon Prime's households, along many more. I missed that slide. Anyway, since the recent posts, Grok's also we've had some posts online. There's been a lot of positive feedback about the idea, about it being, and Grok's even saying it's potential partnership between Polkadot and Discovery. This is hype, of course, but this is also what we're stepping into with putting Polkadot and Polkadot community on Discovery Channel. So what's on offer? What's on offer is Polkadot will be able to, and the community will be able to legally market as seen on Discovery Channel, the Polkadot logo on a t-shirt or in a computer screen during the sales scene. And the story is going to be finding a rare opal, tokenizing it, 3D scans uploaded to a platform with the Polkadot logo, and having a Polkadot community member purchase it with DOT in real life to democratize it and make it available for the entire world. Outback Opal Hunters is classified as factual entertainment as a genre, and it blends real-life activities with dramatized storytelling for TV audiences, allowing myself to break down what's happening on that way in a relatable to tens of millions of viewers. So past Treasury learnings, we've seen big spendings on marketing, etc. for Inter Miami, the F1 sponsorship, and I'm comparing myself this proposal to that, where we're all of which are getting high brand visibility. However, where we differ from that is we've got on a plan for on-chain KPIs and on-chain engagement. So where the other ones have failed because they are marketing, but they've had no real funnel to bring customers on-chain and improve those transactions, that's where this proposal differs from past marketing proposals. So pricing 250,000, 50,000 deposit, and a $200,000 sales scene with in real life paid in Polkadot. This has been derived from this cost per milli, which is cost per 1,000 views. And this is a screenshot from a in-depth article about pricing on cost per CPM ranges. So at $20 CPM, this is valued at 200,000 for 10 million views and 600,000 for 30 million views. The series gets between 20 and 30 million views, but possibly can get up to 50 million views globally. This is the series and its current viewers, which it has been since 2018. And why does it still have a deal with Polkadot? We've got full tokenized IP ownership held by the Polkadot Treasury, high visibility of real-world asset tied to Polkadot, showcasing globally across multiple cable TV stations, custom onboarding infrastructure, allowing smooth entry for the Polkadot ecosystem for mainstream audiences, physical or physical collectibles, bridging Web 2 with Web 3 integrations, and redeemable tokenized assets available for users at events through community rewards programs and turning viewers into active participants, and also community members, allowing them to be a part of the story. On-chain KPIs, when the episode airs, we're doing quarterly reports based on data feedback by CoinGecko, Parrot Analytics, which is a demand expressions across cable TV stations analytics platform, and Third Web Analytics, which is wallet generated via token claims. Storage will be at, I've in discussions with the Australian Crypto Centre. Oh, there's a typo there, sorry about that. And what we paid 20 years in advance, and it'll be available at Polkadot. The actual physical asset can be available at Polkadot events with easily redemption to claim some of the assets tokens. This is an episode from previous channels where we've done the first episode in the metaverse. It's 3D sanded, crafted, sold in a virtual shop, and the audio pretty much says that we're ahead of the pack. We're at global jewelry and engaging with the new younger generation of oops, sorry, and I'm just trying to monitor time. So in conclusion, $250,000 is an opportunity, opportunity is not just reasonable, it's undervalued. Considering CPM benchmarks, audience scale, extra utility, tokenization, IP, and onboarding, is a high impact, low cost win for the Polkadot ecosystem. And that's me. Happy to have any questions.
And we have 30 seconds for any questions people have. Thank you for this presentation. It's a very unique offer to the DAO. So does anybody have any thoughts on this to begin? Boom, boom. Oops. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just say that thanks everyone for having me. I think this is a very different proposal
Mhm.
because of the tokenization play, because people at events we can share these tokens, you know, hand them out, etc. Similar to what Wood's doing, like it's an onboarding initiative, but it's also an event, real world asset. And yeah, it allows you, I know the Polkadot on Discovery Channel, the main guys behind Discovery, they all hold crypto. They were very excited about my last initiative. And
I
yeah,
don't know why I still can't get the air horn to work. It's
The air horn. Okay,
anyway,
it's gonna be worth the
thank you very
wait.
much.
Thank you, Josiah. Thank you very much. Okay, do we have anybody from one block here? Raise thy hand. I didn't think so. Okay, so Ref 1638, something that we were intending to talk about, but I guess not this week. That means we're going to move on to the UX Bounty Q3 2025 refill proposal. We got Alex Hoods in the house for Braille, 67,085 dot. This is a bounty refill, so it has to be in dot. Alex, welcome to the show.
Hello, Jay. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me, Jay. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Tell me, guys, if you are able to see it. Yep, all good. All right, so I've prepared some slides to present a bit the angle of this proposal. I'm not going to go into too many details in this show because we are going to come on every other show in the coming weeks. So we'll do like some dive into the Q3 project at that moment. We will be as well at Web3 Summit. So if you guys have any questions, we will, almost all of the curator will be there. So you can grab us and we can talk about things, right? So first angle that we are bringing with this proposal, right, is like we are doubling down on what we've been doing so far and our learnings. And 3 learnings we had, all right, is like, first, we started by fixing issue a year ago, and the biggest one was unifying the address format, right? So it's underway. The rollup are starting upgrading it, but we don't have that much control on top of it. But we are continuing like every month to keep up with the rollup to know their status. We've done a similar approach for the DOT as a gas fee token. So now rollup can as well use, include DOT as a feature for their user to use as a gas fee. We've as well worked with the wallet to create some protective measure to make sure that users are not losing funds when they are sending to exchange because of the cross-chain mechanics and stuff. And we've as well worked on a glossary to help teams having a better copy on their app, right? So those issues kind of like evolve into what we call best practices or standards. So those are things that we are pushing. And now you are building a rollup, you are expected to have a unique address format, the same as everyone is starting to use, and as well to have DOT as a gas fee, right? It's a standard in the industry now. We want to work and continue working on doing those projects, right? So we will fix other things, but again, I'm not going into detail today. Another thing that we've done since a year is like after fixing issue, on top of that, we wanted to know, like we wanted to find better ways to edit the ecosystem hands-on, you know? And so we thought like beginning of this year that elevating the individual app UX will inevitably elevate the Polkadot UX in its globality, right? So if you elevate the wallet and then an app and then the Explorer, the overall UX gets better. And so that's why we've started the UXOD program in Q2. It was a pilot at first, but we had amazing results. So we've audited 5 teams: Subsquare, Mimir, Subwallet, Polka Assembly, and Polymake, which is about to be shared to the team. And the satisfaction has been amazing from the team. And for now, I can already say that Subsquare and Mimir have already implemented 40% of the recommendation. To give you some numbers, is like it's more than 130 high impact recommendations that were made in 5 audits. So based on that, we are going to continue that in Q3, and we already have secured like 8 slots for those teams. So PDP, Polkadot.com, Nova, Polkadot Vault, Accurace, Subscan, Turtle, and Calyx. And then the last thing that we've done since a year, this came up a bit more this year, it was expanding into DevX. Again, the same thinking is like, how do we improve Polkadot UX, right? So we've done this with the individual UX of the apps, but as well, we know that the developer experience, in a way, is one where where the UX is starting, right? The developer are the first user of Polkadot, which are the one creating the user experience our user are getting. So we started talking about this and getting some stakeholder on board, and we got Niftesty as one of our curator, which is an amazing addition to our set of curator. And with that, we created our first project into DevX, which is a pilot. Again, we are always thinking this MVP mindset is like, is it making sense? Is it bringing value to the ecosystem? That one is briefly, it's a UI component library, and its goal is to make sure that all of the scattered UI library that you have right now, when you come into Polkadot, they are concentrating into one nice, beautiful library that is working for you. So you don't have to go in, I don't know, 5 or 6 website different library. Right. So that was the first angle. Second main angle is that we started a year ago, like as a rigid and siloed structure, into now a flexible and efficient team or business unit, as I like to call. And so now we are confident that we are going to move into a quarterly planning and budgeting, right? And so the reason behind doing this move is, first, we need to be aligned with the community. And how do we do that? By having a checkpoint every 3 months, So by doing this, is like we come to you guys and we're like, this is the project we want to do. And are you guys agreeing? This is the roadmap and this is the KPIs, right? On top of that, we want to be adaptable, right? So some of the experience that we had so far is like multiple things are changing. We know that like the industry is moving super fast and we need to stay flexible. And so when teams like Parity or Web3 Foundation or I don't know, Paper Moon are coming to us and asking like for help or over bounties, we need to be as well available with capacity and budget available for those type of things, because again, we are considering ourselves as like a big organization. And then the last thing of this quarterly change is that it keeps us accountable, right? I don't see anyone able to really report on the yearly planning or even a half year. Like I'm really challenging the people to do so because it's impossible. Like everything changed so fast. So by doing 3 months quarter and planning, that's how we keep ourselves accountable with the community. Which makes an introduction for the third and last angle of this report, of this refute, is measuring our success. So we've done a lot of effort on doing that, and I don't think we are there yet, and that's our goal, right? But we want to really measure the success of everything that we are doing. And so from now on, and it's already the case for all the previous projects, but from now on, every project will have its own KPIs. We will commit to quarter reports. And on top of that, it's public. It has always been, but we are going to make sure that the metrics that you guys are seeing are actually digestible, because it's impossible as well to just go in some hidden docs and then we just say it's transparent, but then you have to take 4 hours to understand exactly the report. So that's what we are going to do. The request, we are requesting for this quarter 228,000. Again, I'm not going into the details of the cost today. I will do that in the coming weeks. And as I was saying, every dollars have a measurable outcome. So we are putting KPIs on top of that. So end of the next quarter, we will come back again on AAG and we will present you everything. So TLDR, first, accelerate on what we've been doing so far. Second, changing into a quarter planning and budgeting. And then third, measuring and reporting everything so you guys can see us, and we are building basically in public. Requesting 228K. Thank you, everyone. Again, as I was saying, not too many details today. I just wanted to give the full picture. I will be there at the Web3 Summit, Nino, Valeria, and Niftesty as well. So don't hesitate, grab us. Always happy to talk. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Sorry, Alex. I cannot figure out how to get the air horn to come through. It's very frustrating.
We're going to do it after the show for sure. Good presentation, Alex. Nice maturity on this program as well. Definitely interested to get more of a breakdown on the spending there, but that was a great slot in the show today. Thanks very much for coming on.
Thanks, yeah.
All right, let's keep it moving. We have Chris. Where are you, Chris? No. Oh, anybody from the rewards program powered by Polkadot? Okay, we're going to move on then. The return of the Merkle Mountain Belt. This is 1667. The total sum of this proposal is, we have to go over here and check. I don't think I got it yet. What is the total sum of this there, Robert?
It's 340K USDC.
Uh-huh.
And then if the overall savings accrued exceed the aggregate cost of the proposal, another 42K dot.
Okay, I don't know what that means,
That's
but I think you're going to explain it now. Welcome back to the show.
Sure. Yeah, thanks for having us again. Alfonso is also here, and he'll take the lead
yes,
in the
Alfonso,
presentation. Yeah.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Thank you for the invitation. Happy to be here. I would like to start with a short presentation, if that's fine.
Of course.
Okay. So yeah, this is, as you might know, this is our second attempt as the proposal. We tried it last December. We gathered lots of support, considerable support from key players, the bridge teams, the party bridge team as well. We were shut down at the end. There were some criticisms valid that we will discuss about today. Can you see the presentation well?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So I guess it's a special proposal because it's research heavy. So we hope to set precedent to that the OpenGov supports decentralized research. At the same time, we think that let's say our elevator pitch is strong enough that it just makes economic sense. So today I quickly want to mention what's the motivation. That is cross-chain bridges, especially to Ethereum. What are highlights of this data structure we propose called MMB, and what's new with the proposal compared to the previous attempt. I had a little bit of fun with AI because our data structure has a lot of substructures with nice names like trees, mountains, bagging. So this is what AI returned. So the elevator pitch quickly is that we can save about $1 in gas for every message that is every transaction of a user of a bridge between Dot and Ethereum, regardless of the bridge. So this could be Snowfork, for instance. How do we do that? Well, okay, and then if we just consider that at least one of these bridges is moderately successful, then we can easily save 6 to 7 digits in savings per year to the community. How do we do this? Basically, along with every message, the user or a relayer has to also send a Merkle proof to authenticate the message to the corresponding smart contract on Ethereum. And right now, that takes about 17 hashes. That's the length of the Merkle proof used to authenticate the message, and we can reduce it to about 10. And the reason is that right now, all bridges rely on the Bifi commitment for authentication, and this commitment is currently using the MMR construction. And the MMB is just a replacement and an improvement to MMR that makes smaller Merkle proofs on average. This is a little bit how it would look like if we use MMB instead of MMR, or if we use a chain. Because as you know, we're talking about committing to finalized block headers. And if you think about it, like what happened in Bitcoin, or even what happens in Polkadot at the beginning, like before finality, is that we just use a chain, like a hash chain, or like a blockchain to commit to it. And that gives it like very short proofs to very recent blocks, but then very quickly it becomes too big. So it doesn't make sense for most use cases, for things that are not super recent. And then the MMR kind of makes like a balance tree, and that means that all proofs are more or less of the same size. It doesn't make much of a difference if something is like if a message is recent or not recent. And MMB is something in between. It exploits the fact that most messages almost queries that are going to happen in a bridge are going to be for recent events, like recent messages produced on Polkadot. We're talking about something between 5 minutes to 1 day. And in this range of recency, MMB outmatches both a hash chain and an MMR. So yeah, in terms of highlights, we're talking about, we're comparing 3 microstructures that are used basically everywhere in blockchain. This is like a very basic infrastructure. They're used as commitment schemes. Here we're thinking that there's a client Alice that wants to know what's going on in like some recent event on the network. And then we have a full node Bob that has this big database of data, and it makes a public commitment with one of these microstructures. And then Alice is going to ask for some particular data entry, and Bob is going to give the data entry and a proof, that what we call a Merkle proof, that shows authenticity. Now, more visually, again, I'm comparing a chain and an MMR. A chain is what we call a tree, but it's a very unbalanced tree. So can you see my cursor?
No.
Yes, but Alfonso, we're also running a bit out of time. I think we should probably do the cost section, because that's, yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to say that the chain is completely unbalanced. MMR is well balanced. And what we're proposing is something slightly unbalanced that basically makes recent events have shorter proofs. We're taking advantage of the fact that most of the queries of users are going to be for recent events, things that happened in the last day as opposed to the 10 years ago or something like that. For people who are familiar with asymptotic behaviors, MMB has a constant append time, which is something I didn't mention before. So it's as good as a chain to append new events as they occur. And it is shorter, like the recent items are logarithmic and are just logarithmic in how new they are and completely independent on the number of events, like the total number of blocks in the blockchain, for instance. So yeah, that's how it beats both MMR and chain. I'm not going to go much into this slide, but we just want to say that besides the bridge, we have considered many client protocols, like recent client protocols in the literature that use MMR. So MMR has had a lot of attention in the literature, and we check what happens if we use MMB instead, and every time we get an improvement. So yeah, we think that the potential for applications goes beyond bridges. And here I could mention also that MMB has been mentioned in the JAM paper, well, in the great paper recently, which shows, that there are applications that we didn't think about at the time that are just coming up recently.
So, yeah, we have 30 seconds left. I think the utility was well proven last time, but it really came down to the incentive structure.
Right. So yeah, okay. The main parts of criticism were that some of the content was considered not critical, and that we were proposing a new incentive reward framework. And I guess, we were just trying to do too many things at the same time. There was no reason to propose a novel incentive reward. So this time there's no commitment to any incentive rewards. And also the proposal has been streamlined. So now it's 40% cheaper. I could go into detail. Time. Okay. Well, thank you for your attention. Yeah, we're open to any questions.
It is again, I mean, it's a much simpler incentive structure than we had last time, although it is still complex. I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 different payments here, 6 different payments here. So it would be nice to get a breakdown of that next time.
Just quickly there, that's just because we all get paid after delivery. That's why it's 6 milestones. It's not related to any kind of incentivization. It's just not taking it up front, but delaying it until the work's actually there.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Maybe a little bit more details on that in the future. The headline here, Merkle Mountain belts mean?
Cost saving, mean money saved, and yeah, money saved and more money saved than it costs. So makes economic sense.
Okay, nice. Money saved for validators.
I would say mostly for users or for any kind of application that uses a light client protocol.
All
so
right.
light clients have to be
But
fast.
yeah, and its use in Gem, or at least how it's in the gray paper now, also money saved for validators because they have to the append procedures constant time.
Yep. Okay. Thank you, guys. We're going to move on now to a discussion. Get this gone. Move from the call. We still have Zoe here? I thought I saw her coming. Hey, Zoe.
Hello, guys.
You wanted to talk about Clary's AI. That's something that's been coming up through the Web3 Foundation, and I think you're gearing up to come to the Open Treasury now. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes.
So we have this discussion posted 8 days ago. Thank you for coming on the show. We'll start the timer. Take it away.
Cool. Am I in the main room? Ah, yeah, I see me here. Cool. I will share my screen. I have a quick presentation. Entire screen. And just tell me if you can see this in full screen.
Yep.
Cool. Perfect. Hey, guys. Yeah, I would like to present Clarus AI, another AI tool for OpenGov that's currently in discussion and will go on-chain for voting in the next days as well. I'm long-term Polkadot ecosystem contributor and now the founder and product visionary of Clarus AI. And just a quick overview what Clarus AI is. It's an AI assistant for OpenGov and mainly here to actually make decentralized governance decisions faster and more efficient, as well as more transparent. The current state is that we have developed an MVP over only in a time frame of 3 months, which was also validated by the Decentralized Futures Grant. This was great to receive the grant for this in the first time, but now we want to see if the community really wants this product, so we go through Treasury here. And the concept was proven. Now we seek the funding for a beta development phase, where we add, of course, a lot of more features and make it also really user-centric for OpenGov super users. The cool thing is about Clarus is that we analyze on-chain as well as off-chain data. So we have a lot of bounty structures where submissions actually go off-chain. We have also forum discussions. We have a lot of great information here on AAG that sometimes don't actually get gathered on-chain. And the AI behind Clarus should actually gather all of this information. So what it actually does in the current state, but of course will be expanded or extended, is to read if a proposal at the moment is accountable. Are there related proposals, or can we compare two proposals that are maybe submitted on-chain via Treasury or also off-chain via any of the existing bounties? And what kind of categories actually exist? Like we created categories to see where we maybe have the most submissions on proposals. So we are trying to reduce complexity, mainly of data sourcing, because we have a lot of manual effort in governance to make a decision and to structure this information as well. So the problem that we are trying to solve here is really to make our very pioneering, really Web3 pioneering governance framework, which is OpenGov, a bit more easier to navigate. It is unfortunately a bit complex and time consuming to actually get finally to make a vote on proposals. We have a lot of manual effort, as I mentioned, and sometimes also limited visibility because, as I mentioned, we do have bounty structures and we need to do a lot of comparison. And sometimes this leads to double dipping from the same proposal that goes maybe through through several bounties and also through Treasury. Sometimes we actually overspend because we don't have enough transparency between these different funding structures. And it takes a lot of time to actually source on proposal information. So this is what Clarus wants to do. We want to simplify governance by automating with AI, of course, data collection, but again, from on-chain as well as off-chain. We make the stream analysis much faster, and we reduce manual workload and improve efficiency so we can actually engage much more in OpenGov. Summarize, to become the trusted source of truth for OpenGov data and to empower every OpenGov contributor with informed and high impact decisions quickly and confident. And as I mentioned, the MVP does exist. I can go over this in a second as well. And I was very happy that we were able to actually open up the MVP to some of the super users within OpenGov. We received good feedback, critical, of course, but definitely helpful feedback, which we implemented directly into the product development roadmap for our beta version. And some of them, these challenges you can see here on the left-hand side. The biggest challenge is really the hallucination, which is an overall problem within the AI space at the moment, and lack of reasoning. And also a bit of poor or not the best data retrieval. Sometimes the AI did mix up some information, some links between like some of the proposals were missing, and the relationships and similarity queries. But again, the MVP was mainly there to prove, does the AI actually make an impact? And now in beta, we want to improve that it actually makes the best impact to actually use AI in governance. And what we will focus on here in the beta optimization is a lot on the data cleaning and normalization. This is something that is, again, in AI super important. We often think all the AI tools that we have nowadays are working greatly if we just put all the data that we have in there, which is unfortunately not true. We have to focus, we have to input the right data, rightly structured and also cleaned up. And this is where we need to put on a lot of time on. The MVP was like a quick and dirty product development, only developed in 3 months. So we have a longer roadmap now for beta to really make this, to clean up the data and make this the best AI tool for OpenGov. And also this another important part is to implement, a multi-agent architecture. And this is also something quite new within the AI space. Currently, Claris runs on a single agent architecture, and if we integrate multi-agents where every agent has specific jobs and gives this information back to an orchestrator, we can get rid of AI hallucination and get much better and clearer and precise AI outputs. And this is just the overview of key benefits. We have, as I mentioned, the instant access to critical proposal data, trusted intelligence and purpose-built for Polkadot, because we really train the AI model on Polkadot information. We have a big or really focus on the database that is really precise. The coolest thing is really the time saving, right? This is why I want to bring AI into governance, which then also makes governance more active and more people actually contribute to OpenGov and are engaged. And structured, actionable governance insights, as I mentioned before, and the transparency, also very important. Finally, have one place to go to find on-chain and off-chain data and everything that you actually know about governance discussions. Yeah, a big roadmap, but you can find all of this information within the proposal and the discussion post that's online. And can read about all of these points as well. What I want to mention here, just important, we do have several phases in the testing phase. However, for our team, it's very, very important to actually integrate an iterative development and also feedback loop, so that we have, after each phase, user feedback, super users, new OpenGov users, that when we are done with the development in 5 months, that we are really sure that actually the users want to use the product and we are not need to create or recreate or take a step back within the development. So yeah, iterative user feedback is super important for us here. Cool. There was the presentation. Do I have more time?
No, there's just 10 seconds.
Okay, just the user interface. Claris AI is live, and you can text me maybe to test it out. That's it.
All right, great. Yeah, I would like to ask some questions, but maybe we can see you again. Are you going to go on chain with the ref very soon?
Yeah, and then maybe I can do the product demo and come back as well.
Yeah, it would also be great to hear from some people who are using it, like some testimonials from people whose experience in OpenGov is actually being elevated. Yeah, Spectra?
Yeah, hi. It's really interesting. Can we log in with our Web3 addresses, with our Polkadot address instead of email?
Not yet. It's very simple for the MVP. It's email based, and it's not open for the public because we need to monitor the cost. But if you are interested, you send me a DM and I can add you to the list and give you access.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so thanks very much, Zoe. We're going to head back now to take a look at the rewards program powered by Polkadot. because I see the guys in the call now. We have Tyler, we have Sal, and we have Chris on the show, guys. 1666. What a number. Messi, $250,000. Hey, earlier in the show, the Inter Miami project was called out for not having on-chain funnel, but I think this is changing it, right? So what do we got here? No votes really to speak of. So we'll set the timer and you guys take it away.
We missed the fun. What was all the fun about?
It was the Discovery Opal Hunters. They're just like, here's a marketing thing with on-chain stuff, but.
Oh, got you. Yeah, well, this takes time. This one took time. We actually just got asked that question from Permanent DAO, like why, we joked and we told them we just found Tyler on the street yesterday. No, we've been working on some tech integration before like the contract was even signed, but just wanted to show back up, answer any questions. We did just go live with a referendum the other day. There was already a couple questions. And yeah, Spectre, I think we got a meeting with you next Tuesday, but yeah, I wanted to show up and see what the community had to think about or say about this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so just open for discussion. No more presentation.
I don't really have a big presentation made, Tyler,
That's
unless
cool.
it sounds over there. You can like go through the merchandise. Maybe we could talk a little bit about the program and the stuff Sal's like throwing over his shoulders. Like the whole build up for this was. We said all this. I know we're asking for 250,000. Okay, that's a good chunk of money. There's a lot more investment going into this. Tyler's coming out of pocket with some. The club's going all in with the activation cost and stuff. This is just covering the license of it, not to mention all the assets that we've set aside. And then we just got some numbers. I want to make a better presentation to share with the community and everybody, but. Those that were questioning like the spend and everything else, whether you like sports, you don't like sports, you can't lie with numbers. And there was like 1.6 billion impressions just through like official Inter Miami social channels for the past 5 or 6 months. So there's like a huge user base here that we could take advantage of. And we've set all these assets aside to do that tech integration. And we've reached out to Smart Media Technologies, who has the legitimacy that the MLS feels comfortable with to take advantage of it. So hopefully we get everybody's support. But if not, we're here to answer questions for those that kind of have questions.
Yeah. And Chris, maybe I'll just add from, being involved behind the scenes on this project and watching this kind of just want to call out that, we're brought in by large brands like Visa. We power Visa's Web3 infrastructure, right? We're powering Accenture. We were brought in by Samsung. We were brought in by Intel on the Olympics to help them turn passive fans into engaged users. And like at the end of the day, Polkadot, like the community and the ecosystem, if you on-ramp the users, if you bring the users into the ecosystem, you're going to have a thriving developer ecosystem, right? And there's this investment's been made, like right or wrong or what have you. You've made the investment. And we have now this opportunity with the club leaning in to be able to provide a fun, engaging, easy fan app that's branded Polkadot. And people don't care if it's running on Web 2 or Web 3. What they're going to associate is a rewarding fan experience in Polkadot. And we all get them into the ecosystem, into the fan app. And from there, that becomes the on-ramp to where they're earning Polkadot points for downloading a Nova wallet, and being able to use those points to be able to swap on Asset Hub for crypto for maybe their first time ever. And it's an amazing opportunity to on-ramp and create a bridge between Web 2, non-crypto community, and the most ravaged fan base following Messi at this point, and bring them into the ecosystem. And so I think we're ready to launch within 2 to 3 weeks. We'll be live upon approval, and we'll start to prove and onboard those fans. The club is ready to hit send on a social post to their 17 million followers to say, click here to register for the Polkadot fan app and start engaging. So it's a pretty amazing opportunity. We're ready to go, and we hope we can get the community support for it.
Okay. Yeah, so going through assets over there. Something else that's just synergetically cool is like it aligns with the FIFA Rivals launch. I mean, it's soccer fans. It's all about, fans and gaming. We're grabbing these little sectors, so we're after the fans here, which the fans are quite powerful.
Okay, why don't we take a look at the budget here, which is pretty simple. $200,000 goes toward developing the platform and licensing through the end of the season, and $50,000 for what? It says user acquisition, deployment costs, maximize adoption. What's the plan with this 50,000?
It's media activation. So being able to run social media, targeting, you're able to go into Meta and target those 17 million Inter Miami fans, right? And be able to say, click here for a chance to travel with the intercompany team, with the Inter Miami team.
Yeah.
Click here to win a VIP, fan experience or what have you. So using it as support as media of activation to on ramp and bring those users into the experience.
Cool. And then the program extending beyond the end of this year, IMCF retains the option. What could this future look like? Like, is Inter Miami paying for it if we prove that the app is useful to them, or do we pay again?
There's actually dollars going. So you're not seeing the whole value here. Those assets that was showing, that's a huge number right there. This is what you see is for the licensing and like a little bit of the activation. There's a whole other management side and everything else that the club is taking on. So there's cost over there that the club is taking on with this. That $250K would be for the licensing for a year.
Yeah, and the real opportunity that we've proven with other clubs and other opportunities is that this doesn't become an ongoing marketing expense or an expense for Polkadot at all, but actually we work with the club to make this revenue generating, right? So as you come on, this becomes a new channel, and other Inter Miami sponsors are going to want to interact with that. And so we're like working through a revenue share agreement on that. So ultimately this becomes a new revenue stream for the community.
It becomes a revenue stream for
revenue
us?
Stream for Polkadot? Wait, did you say that right? Can you say it again?
Yes, it becomes a revenue stream back for Polkadot and the community. Like, that is the ultimate intention with this, on moving beyond this on the 2025 year.
No, this is important. I think we need to unpack this and explore this a lot more vigorously, because we actually need revenue in the ecosystem. This is very important for the survival of Polkadot.
The play here is you've got users. Do you want to grab them and try to do something with them, or let them go?
James, we have a minute.
So I think that if this was only used for Inter Miami, it's already absolutely a home run, and I'm close enough to the Inter Miami deal to know what this means for Polkadot. But the other thing that's exciting for me is, I think conceptually, any BD agent who works for Polkadot will then have the potential to sell a fan loyalty and engagement tech stack into other opportunities, right? We're always all over the world, including myself, chasing other opportunities in other either sports entities or entertainment entities that have very engaged fan bases. And this is a tool that will then have the ready to be able to go and sell into other markets. And that just is very exciting to me as well.
Okay, sounds good. Sal, last words.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you so much for having us at last minute. What I wanted to say is that we might probably become soon the app where you could literally have exclusivity on merch related to Leo Messi. So this is a Polkadot app, is going to be an Inter Miami rewards app. The Inter Miami will focus any sort of rewards, including Leo Messi, through this app. And luckily, we have so much stuff, so much merch, that we could literally almost give 2-3 jersey away until what's happening?
We're past time.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I heard the air horns, which I finally got to work.
It did work. It did work, but then Google diminished, turned it down because it probably took it as background noise. Good stuff. Guys, this is very good. I say let's focus on the whole revenue thing. That's pretty cool. But nice presentation. Do you guys want to come back again? Maybe.
If you have it.
Maybe.
Sure, maybe.
Okay, nice. All right, thanks very much. That's 1666. Let's get a quick word Wait, do we still have Dudo? Okay, quick word from Dudo, who's enjoying a lot of eyes here, 96.9%. Dudo, anything new to say here, or just gratitude, or what's the idea?
Yeah, I just came by to answer any questions that the panel might have, and came by to say thanks to everyone who has voted, thanks to everyone who will be voting still, and we really appreciate the support here.
All right. Anybody have any questions?
And also,
Mhm.
sorry, one more thing. We'll also be at the Web3 Summit, so you can see us with the Paraspell t-shirts. Feel free to stop us and ask any questions as well.
Cool. Any questions for Dudo? Nice of him to come anyway. Dudo, thanks very much for being here. That's 96.9% in favor of this 148-ish thousand USDC. 38.87 million dot on the I side. Congratulations.
Thanks. And thanks for having me here.
All right, moving on to usually we do confirming refs at the end of the show, but this one's on the edge. 50.2% on the I side in the confirmation period and just about to enter sudden death. 27.09 million ayes, 26.92 million nays for the Jamton project. You guys know I like this project a lot. But all right, we have Vlad and the boys back. Guys, what's going on? Oh, you're muted there, man.
Hi, Jay. Thank you so much. Please, Vladimir, start share screening. So we have today a couple updates and report what is going on, where we are right now. And before the major runtime upgrade in Jamton network, we want to thank everyone who's supporting us. The Trustless Core DAO, ReDAO, Hungarian DAO, GM Implementation DAO, Harbor Capital, everyone who's supporting us, thank you so much. So start from the report. What you see right now, it's Asgore campaign, what is ongoing right now in Telegram, and you can see that it's already coming to 500,000 impressions there. The clicks is not so big, but you need to understand that we are working together with the Woo team, with Promo team, with different counterparties to make it better. And soon we're going to be start more campaigns inside the Telegram to promote the Jamton, to promote Woo, to promote upcoming development and runtime upgrade. So please, Vladimir, show TAC. That's our basically competitor, what we shared before. So this competitor still not live. It's still in test network, and you can see that somehow L2 Photon or whatever, they last time when we was 3 weeks ago sharing this information, have 300 million. Right now we see they become increase the liquidity in this protocol, what is on Cosmos SDK, because we're building on Substrate SDK, 700 million. So they double it and triple it, I believe, soon. So that's why we're fighting, because we see how much potential liquidity can be onboarded in Jamton, in Substrate, and Polkadot, because it's a hot topic, and yeah, we see a lot of opportunity there. So then let's go to the let's start from gold. Vladimir, can you put the gold, please? So I want to remember that the gold token is going live 15 August on Jamton and going to be tradable. The first liquidity is prepared around $400,000, but first batch is planning for $3 million. That's the liquidity, because we have a lot of questions from the proposal. What is the KPI? What is the liquidity we're searching for, and so on. So you can see that after 15, it's going to be hundreds of thousands of new liquidity from the gold token asset originator called Hercules, and we'll bring it to Polkadot, we'll bring it to Ton, and it's going live on Jamton 15 August. So yeah, the funny conversation that we have the call with the providers who are going to be cash in, cash out, because this is super important to make it mass adoption gold. That's the vision of the asset originator. We'll make the really push marketing campaign in Telegram of the network, in Polkadot network, and the onboarding customer is going to be by Changely, by BT, by Vert, and we have yesterday the call with the Vert and with Changely, where they can in cash with the card, with credit card, with SEPA, with Swift buy and sell the gold, and it's everything going to be ongoing in the Jamton, of course. when we present to this guy from Wert, the founder is called George, we say, yeah, we're going this, we're going in Gemton, it's based on Polkadot, and he say, wait, do the Polkadot still alive? And I share with him the gidration. If he was like, hey guys, what is going on here? I tell, check this out. This is the how much liquidity you have only in one project, and it's the Polkadot itself much more. So they don't know anything about that. And we're gonna be share more and more what the Polkadot have, all these amazing, you know, mythical games, Polka assembly, and so on. So the next thing, we also, you know, before the runtime upgrade, what is bring abstract account, node integration from DevNet to Mainnet in Gemton. It's right now everything testing in DevNode of Gemton in DevNet. So we're thinking, what is the killer application? What is the idea? Why we're building this? And we understand that you know, we are liquid staking protocol. We onboarding the Ton customer, bring the Polkadot substrate for developers in Telegram Open Network and so on. But why are we doing this? We want to make something special what does not exist in, let's say, Ton, and bring them the technology from Polkadot. And we understand that one of the biggest technology, what we have today, it's a Polka assembly. And one of the most powerful thing, it's a DAO inside the Polkadot. And Ton, we know we're in touch with the Ton Foundation, with the Ton Society, with different Ton institutional players. They want to build the DAO, but they don't know how to build a DAO. And our idea is to bring them the Polka assembly accessible inside Telegram. So we're right now in touch with the Polka assembly team. It's already registered like polkaassembly.ton. Please, Vladimir, show, and it's going to be accessible for users to vote with the .ton, to lock the .ton and vote inside the Polkadot with the .ton. That's one of the things we want to share, and we're going to be doing this together with the Polka assembly as well. So another thing what we want to share, that's we're working with the Snowfork, with the Gidration, with the different Polkadot team to bring more utility to the Gemton, and it's on pipeline. And after the gold token is going to be released, couple of other features what is not available today. So Fernando, do you want to bring something on top of that maybe, but really quick, because we also have the Gleb, our business developer from Ton, who was in the beginning but he never was on AAG, and I want to share maybe some idea from him to he can present this. Fernando,
let's go to Gleb. I think that was very nice that you mentioned that it's not only Gemton now live on mainnet, but there's actually an issuer, an asset managers from Switzerland launching a gold coin. This is actually very serious. There was a lot of work behind. Yeah.
Gleb, do you hear us? Can you please present yourself a little bit? Vladimir, can you open the photo from Gleb? So the last time it was the Polkadot event in Dubai on Token 2049. This is the Mario from Permanence DAO, from Polkadot, you know, and this is the Gleb. So Gleb, do you hear us? Can you share something about the Ton integration in Gemton?
Sure, thanks for introduction. So speaking about Ton, originally when we started their collaboration with Vladimir, I was deeply involved with a couple of good projects in Ton, and we see that Ton ecosystem is struggling with onboarding, with execution, with modern technology. In Polkadot, thankfully to Vladimir and the team, I see that we have great tech, but lack of users. So it's like our core narrative that there are like lots of users on Telegram, you know, almost every person on crypto is using Telegram exclusively. So I don't think I need to pitch Telegram that much, but I need to pitch the thing that we need to be more active with upcoming incentives and integrations, because timing is good. We see that our main competitor, they kind of struggling with the execution and go-to-market strategy in regards of, I would say, technological, you know, things, because we see that Cosmos SDK is quite catchy and hard to build. On Polkadot, it's easier for us because the team had lots of experience. So yeah, we really need your support. Timing is great. If you spread the word and we win this incentive, sorry if I, you know, just miss the the things, how it's called in Polkadot, because I'm not really deep. But if you support us right now, it's a perfect timing for us to get the things going on Telegram and Polkadot.
All right, we're at time there. Very, very tight race. On the nay side here, so Kus.delegate, Hungary, Jam Implementers, Trustless, Rat DAO, they're all on the I side. But that huge Chaos DAO vote, almost 14 million, is on the nay side. Polka World as well, and Permanence DAO. You only have to flip one person in Permanence DAO, and then they would come out abstain. But it's very, very tight, guys. It's and more impressive work today. So yeah, tricky situation, guys. Thanks for coming back on the show. We'll know the fate of this by the next show. And
thank you, Jay.
Yeah, guys, thanks very much.
Thank you, Jay.
Oh, it's a huge Funkatron. Hey, Funky. Congrats on the
Speaking of huge,
yeah.
Bitcoin all-time high.
Dude, I was about to say, congrats to all the hodlers. I know you're one. They're trying to call it an all-time high last night, but I didn't see it. This is the true break.
Apparently, we talked about it on Modern Market. It was on Binance. It hit 112. I'm like, if it didn't say it on CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, anything like that, where it's consolidating a bunch of price feeds, it don't count.
No.
Today.
This is clear. Sitting at 112,679 on my chart right now. What a beauty. What a beauty. Congrats to everybody who's holding Bitcoin. Okay, what else do we have here? That's it for presentations this week. We just have a few refs on the go, and then we'll open it up to anybody on the panel who wants to talk about anything else happening in OpenGov. We have some things that we've seen previously. The Polkadot Community Foundation. Oh, they love it when I say this. Politecnico de Milano Blockchain and Web3 Observatory partnership. This is 66.6% in favor here, with a lot of the votes in. So we have Kus, Hungarian, Polka World, Trustless Core, Permanence, all on the I side. Chaos DAO, though, the voice of reason. Just nobody gets Chaos DAO, Nobody gets them. Everybody on the I side, Chaos DAO against. 66.6% in favor of this one right now. LunoKit. This was an interesting one from last week. We have 71.7 million on the nay side right now, but Polka World and Permanence DAO showing some support on the I side. We have a big anon vote in 18.21 million from 14DN on the nay side. That's for the LunoKit project we saw last week. Pixel Proof from Matias. This one's struggling right now. Probably going to have to come in with a new approach. Kus DAO and Ret DAO on the I side, but Chaos DAO, all the other DVs on the nay side. Nobody gets Kus DAO. That's Kus DAO on the I side here, but everyone else on the nay side for Pixel Proof. And Tommy, who we're missing today, his bid to hire an ecosystem talent agent. This one's still working almost halfway through the decision period. 40% in favor right now. Could flip with a DV coming over on the other side. Hungarian and Trustless on the nay side right now, as well as Chaos DAO. But this one is anybody's game, just halfway through that decision period. We got one more as well, actually, that we've seen recently. Pop CLI, the all-in-one tool for Polkadot development. This one is just 5 days remaining in the decision period for that pretty big 577,500 USDC. This is going to enter confirmation in 1 day with 72.7% in favor of this so far. It looks like we just have one DV on the nay side, Jam Implementers on the nay side, with Ret DAO and Chaos DAO and Kus DAO quietly on the abstain here. If Chaos DAO came in on the nay side here, I guess this would flip it, but for now they're safe in abstain. That's all the refs on the go. And besides the Jamtown one, no confirming this week. So we'll just open it up to the people on the panel. If there's anything we want to discuss, anything that's interesting happening in the DAO right now that we could take a look at. Well, I'll say that next week we should be able to show off the RFP project. So Limo and I are supervisors on this, and we started it in the Kusama Treasury just, I don't know, like 2 months ago. And by this time next week, we're going to have an app that will allow anybody to launch an RFP on Kusama and Polkadot, launch a tip on Kusama, maybe Polkadot, and also allow bounty curators on either chain to turn a child bounty into an RFP. As the bounty palette was intended to be used, it will be possible with rfp.fund, and we're going to rename it to opengov.fund because we have a little bit more functionality in there. So that's happening next week. Anybody? James, what's on your mind? Nothing. Nothing. Funkatron, nothing to say.
Well, I mean, like I said, I got so much to catch up on. It's been tough to keep up with everything lately. With some personal stuff on the side, but I'll get there. I'm sure I'm overdue on a bunch of votes.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for being here very much. Hey, I'll just do a final call to action then before we wrap up the show. RFP number 1, crowdsource research for cap supply and step change inflation. This is pretty cool because we actually have many of the questions we're trying to answer already answered. I think I can put it up on the screen right here. Let's see. Yeah, so here's our research question and action sheet. And people in the Telegram chat, I don't know how many people are in that chat right now. Let's see. 41 people have joined the chat. They are contributing answers here. So a lot of the low-hanging fruit is being answered so far, but some of the tougher questions are being assessed right now. But this is pretty cool. One of the coolest ones so far. So we asked what top 100 proof-of-stake networks have a cap supply? And Lakio here, he interpreted it as, let's find 100 projects that do cap supply. So here are 100 projects that have cap supply. But of the top 100, we have XRP, BNB, Cardano, Avalanche, and Algorand. And each of these are getting a little bit more research and detail as well. So that's very interesting. And yeah, actually, BNB is an example of a token that didn't have a cap supply and then went cap supply. So that's a use case to study as well. 100 slots to assess right now. But if you're interested in earning some tokens, some rewards for participating here, we have 21 days, so 3 weeks from today, and we'll present the findings on AAG in 3 weeks. But it's pretty cool. Just pop on over to the Telegram chat and start picking away. This is some low-hanging fruit here, which actually might already be answered. I have to update this sheet. But just looking at the yields from other popular sources, corporate and government sources of yield here, and comparing that to the yield sources in the Web3 industry, that's some low-hanging fruit. You could jump in there. But yeah, check it out. That's the crowdsource research RFP that's up right now. I guess we're all tired. Oh, Funkatron.
Got one last thing that I just wanted. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Dom, a builder that I met during Permissionless. And so he asked me if he could mention me. I don't think he's posted it as a discussion yet, but I think he issued something on GitHub. Of course, he's a builder, right? And this is something that Limo would probably be interested in, because I know we've had conversations around this topic before about crowdsourcing large decision deposits. So like, and the reference point he was using was 1394 when I first brought up doing the Bitcoin treasury, and I was like, hey, any whales got 50,000 DOT lying around so they can drop the decision deposit? And Tommy was like, oh, it doesn't matter, it's just a signaling thing, you don't necessarily need it. But if there were something like a wish for change, or not that people are going to be whipping out referendum killers or cancelers very often, but those that have prohibitively expensive DOT requirements, he's going to put up some kind of discussion about a wish for change for having that crowdsource ability for people to chip in, like, oh, hey, I got 500 DOT, I want to put it on this or that. And I'm pretty sure Limo has talked about this in the past. We need an ability to do some kind of crowdsourcing in that regard. So that should be forthcoming.
Very cool.
Funky, was that Dom from the Technical Fellowship at the block space I'm at?
I don't know if he's part of the Technical Fellowship. He very well may be. He came up and introduced himself to me the first day of Permissionless, and he said that like he knew me from AAG, even though I didn't know. He was a super nice guy,
mustachioed fellow.
Mustachioed fellow, young gentleman, very smart.
I had a lot of good conversations with him. Yeah, that's cool. Nice. All right, guys. Thanks very much. That was a lot today, but very productive. Thanks for being here. This Space Monkey Sunday, it is the 200th interview on the Koos. So we started with short interviews during the news show, And we moved to animated Space Monkeys interviews and in-person interviews. We're going to do the CTO of Ledger, who we recorded at the Block Spati in Berlin. It's a really cool chat. That's episode 200 of Space Monkeys on Sunday. Big Friday news pump tomorrow, of course, and we'll see you back on Monday for more AAG. Have a good weekend, everybody.